We are again. Okay. Okay, thank you. We're going to start with already Elliot from Sky Sports News, please.
Hi, Roy.
Hi.
Hope you're well. Just want to start off by just getting an update on the latest team news from you, if I may. What's the latest with Edouard's ankle injury, as far as you're aware?
Well, nothing's changed. He still has an ankle injury. He's pushing hard to get fit as soon as he possibly can. But as yet, unfortunately, he hasn't been able to turn that corner, which will enable him to declare himself fit to train with the team and to play. But we're monitoring it on a day-to-day basis, and if we're lucky, it will be much quicker than was predicted, and if we're unlucky, it may be longer than predicted. We just don't know. But certainly, he's still very keen to get back as soon as he possibly can, and we'll continue monitoring it on a daily basis.
There's a suggestion that perhaps the medical team and his version of the injury was...
Well, you know what the problem is there, don't you? I actually treated a press conference as if I was talking to people who would understand a little bit of humour. But unfortunately, of course, everything you say here is taken 100% literally. So I shall attempt to be anything other than flippant or humorous and say that there is absolutely no disparity between him and the medical team. I was trying to make the point how keen he was to get back, but basically it will take the time it takes. He understands that, and I apologise for any misapprehension or confusion I may have caused by making a somewhat flippant remark in a press conference when I should realise that any attempt to say anything which isn't manager speak is likely to get you into trouble. So I'll go back to manager speak.
Thanks for clearing that up. How is Jeffrey Schlupp?
Good.
Is he available?
He's available, thank you, yes.
That's very good news.
It is good news, yeah.
Gives you another option in that midfield area.
Exactly, yeah. An area where unfortunately we've lost two very good players, two very important players for us. And when you lose two players of the importance of Eze and Doucouré in the same area of the field, it's going to stretch your squad.
Can I ask you about Sheffield United? They've confirmed the sacking of Paul Heckingbottom and announced that Chris Wilder is his replacement. What's your reaction, firstly, to the news surrounding Paul Heckingbottom, and with Chris Wilder coming in? How different do you think Sheffield United might be under him?
I have no idea. My attitude towards all sackings is the same. It's said not to find out for whom the bell tolls. That's my attitude towards manager sackings. Every manager sacking has my empathy, my sympathy. If you're asking a personal opinion of Heckingbottom, I like him. I think he's a very good manager and coach. I think he's done an exceptional job for Sheffield United. But Sheffield United's business when it comes to a manager is their business, and if they have decided it's time for them to change and to bring back Chris Wilder, then that's up to them, and I have no idea whether it will make them stronger or weaker.
You said Paul Heckingbottom, he's got the character to come back into the game. He's got a very good reputation as a manager.
Yes, he has, and it's a very well-deserved reputation. He's done a remarkable job for that club. He's stepped in on several occasions, and of course he got them back into the Premiership where they wanted to be, and that in itself is a very big achievement, because to get out of the Championship and get back into the Premiership is an achievement which people shouldn't take lightly.
How important do you think the game is against Bournemouth, Roy, with your position, and given the fact you've got two very difficult games following this one, Liverpool and Manchester City?
Yes, and then we've got Brighton and Chelsea, so we've got four very difficult games. And your suggestion perhaps now is that Bournemouth is not a difficult game, so we should profit just by winning this one, and then we don't have to worry about the next four. But that's not the way football works, I'm afraid. We know that Bournemouth are a good team. They're in exceptionally good form. I think they've won 4 of their last 5 or 6 matches. They're playing well. They've just had a very good draw and almost a victory against Aston Villa. So we're playing against another top team. So it's not just Liverpool and Man City that bother us. It's Bournemouth that bother us as well.
Just finally from me, there's a report this morning that Jean-Philippe Mateta is of interest to Eintracht Frankfurt in the January window. I know there was interest in him in the summer. Is he a player that's part of your long-term plans here?
All players at this club are part of my long-term plans. We don't have a very strong squad, and I have no idea about any interest from Frankfurt, from Mateta. It's not certainly landed on my table. So until such time as it becomes an issue for me, I should just put that down to press speculation.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Mib from PLP.
Hi, good afternoon. Looking back at the West Ham result and performance, how important was it to get this point? Definitely means a lot to the fans in the London derby as well.
Yes, I mean, all victories and draws and good performances mean a lot to fans, just as all defeats and bad performances hurt fans. That's part and parcel of being in the world of professional football. But for us, it was important after two results which we were unhappy with, and even performances to some extent that we were far from being delighted about. It was important to get back and go to West Ham and give the performance that we gave. Very solid, very compact. I believe that we deserved our result from that game, and it's good to take that with us into tomorrow night's game, which is going to be another very stern test for us.
I want to ask about Hodgson Edouard, who is doing really well this season. How important he becomes as a leader, the fact you can rely on his qualities and his consistency for Crystal Palace.
I think that he scored some goals this year, which was important. He was quite consistent actually in the final 10 games of last season when I came back to the club. So I don't think there's been a vast difference in his performances or his playing style or even his consistency. But the thing is, for forwards, if they score goals, they are obviously getting more confidence. They feel better about themselves, and most importantly of all, they escape the sort of criticism that's going to come their way if they're playing on a regular basis and not scoring goals. So I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased for the team. But still, it's I think 7 goals in 13 games, but I'm sure at least one of those was in the Carabao Cup. I can't remember. So it's, maybe 5 or 6 goals in 13 games, which is fine. But we think he's got the ability to give us a lot more than that. And I'm certain as well that he will get more than that when we eventually get all of our creative players back on the field together. Because at the moment, Doug Freedman told me today that Eze and Elise so far played 45 minutes together this season. Now we're already 14 games in. And if I then add Doucouré, who's out, and I take away Lerma, who missed about 4 to 5 weeks into the bargain, that's a lot of players to be missing from our team and our squad. And as a forward, you need that creative influence around you to make certain the ball is set up for you. I think we're doing better in that respect. I think we'll give him more chances, and I believe that when we give him the chances, he will score them.
And how essential is it to make Selhurst Park a fortress again? Because this season it's been only one way to the Premier League.
I don't know what you want to say. I mean, every club would love to be sure that every time we play at home we win. But we have never been in that position during my time at the Crystal Palace Football Club. Liverpool are, Manchester City are, Arsenal are becoming that way too. But a big team like Chelsea probably can't really say that our home is our fortress, and we certainly can't say our home is our fortress. If the question is, would you like it to become your fortress? Would you like to be sure that every time you play at home, you've got a very good chance and are more than likely to win the game? And of course the answer is yes, but we'll have to produce the performances to get that, and as yet, as you rightly point out, we haven't done so.
Bournemouth are unbeaten in the last Premier League games, showed good resilience against Villa recently. What do you expect them tomorrow?
I expect them to be good. You've just said they're playing well. They've got a very good series of results behind them. They'll be coming to Selhurst Park tomorrow night with a lot of confidence. But to be frank, whether they're coming here with confidence or lacking confidence, it's still a game which we're going to have to perform well in if we want to win it. So victory or not, for us, will depend upon what we do on the night. And we've got to try and make certain we do enough on the night to get what we would like.
Last one for me, please. Do you know how difficult it is to manage abroad? You experience it in different locations. Obviously, for the Bournemouth manager, that's his first season in the Premier League. How difficult is it, do you think, to adapt to the Premier League from a management point of view?
I think most of the managers who come here from abroad these days seem to adapt very quickly. I think it's to do with two things. It's to do with the fact that it's a very strong league, and the team that they take over invariably has some very good players for them to work with. So that's one factor. And two, I don't think England is a particularly difficult country to adapt to. Most of them speak good English when they come over here, so they don't have the problem of having to battle a language. They don't really often have difficulties in battling a culture, because most of them are coming from other European clubs, and their wives and family also can adjust quite quickly, because normally those people are well educated and speak good English. So I would say that for the managers coming into England, 9 times out of 10, I don't think it proves a major problem for them, but you'd have to ask them. But for English coaches going abroad, that could become more difficult, especially if the culture that you find yourself going to is a vastly different culture to the culture you've been used to at home.
Thanks, Neil. Okay, that's the end of the broadcast section. Thank you.